Good evening, everyone.
Very good evening, Mr. Gurvinder Singh.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
All the best.
Good evening and welcome, Dr. Panigai sir and Arpan sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the welcome, Professor.
Welcome, Dr. Hariharan sir, Subik Chattopadhyay sir, and
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
And please let me know when I can start.
Yes.
Yep.
VC sir will join now. Good evening, Dr. sir, and welcome.
सर नमस्ते। हाँ बताइए। हाँ नहीं चलिए बात करिए सर। हाँ वो तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ 100% सर चेंज कीजिए पूरा सर। मैं तो आपको ही रिक्वेस्ट किया था। सर तो सर अभी मेरा एक मीटिंग स्टार्ट हो रहा है, एक पीएचडी सबमिशन झारखंड का। मैं आपको 1 आवर के बाद फोन लगाऊं? हाँ ठीक है।
Could you please confirm if you are able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, sir, it's fine. It's fine.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, VC sir. Hearty welcome to VC sir. External examiner, Dr. Arpan and Dr. Panigrahi sir, and all my respected panel members and esteemed guests. Now I request VC sir to welcome our guests. VC sir, over to you.
Yeah, Shweta, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramana Bhattacharya. The extra examiners, Dr. Arpan Kaur from IT Delhi, Dr. Praveen Panigrahi from IIM Indore, Professor Arvind Kumar, Registrar, Dr. Barik, Dr. Suzan, Dr. Rumna, all my senior faculty members, all the PhD scholars, and more importantly, Mr. Gurvinder Singh, who is presenting his VIVA today. A very good evening and hearty welcome to all of you to today's PhD VIVA. It's a open VIVA session. In this, apart from the Zoom, we also have got some of our PhD scholars participating in this across the country through the YouTube live also. The PhD kind of the thesis that was submitted. Yeah, in fact, I'm so glad Dr. GL Datta, who is our academic council member, he also has joined us. So Dr. Datta Dar, he was a renowned academician and also the researcher from IIT Kharagpur, the dean from the mechanical engineering. Then after that, he moved on to become the VC and chancellor of KLU. And in the eastern part of the country, he's one of the best academicians that we have. And I also see Dr. Hariharan, Dr. Satyendra Kishore, and Dr. Subrat. Dr. Subhi Chettopadhyay. So a very good afternoon. And the PhD topic is the barriers in adoption of IoT, the Internet of Things and manufacturing industries. It's a very contemporary topic because IoT is the last of the kind of, one of the last of the kind of technologies that is pervading everywhere into that, and more so into the manufacturing. And so I request, the scholar that is Mr. Gurvinder Singh to make the presentation. The format for this is the scholar can give the presentation for about 45 minutes. And after that, it is the kind of the right of both the examiners to kind of examine him for the VIVA. And when once their evaluation is complete, then the rest of anybody else can ask any questions. And before that, including his supervisor also can ask any questions as a part of the kind of VIVA itself. And when the evaluation is complete, then all of us are open for that. So with these few words, so over to Mr. Gurvinder Singh to make his VIVA presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank everyone who are participating in this. And I'll try to complete my presentation in 40 to 45 minutes. And then we'll open the session for question answer to the panel and external examiners. Okay, so the topic, as sir has covered, is the barrier in adoption of Internet of Things in manufacturing industry. I am scholar for this research, and Dr. Taraknath Paul, who is my supervisor, Dr. Sushil Kumar Pare is my co-supervisor. I want to quickly give my background, that where I am from. My name is Gurvinder Singh. I'm currently working for Capgemini as Director IT Operations. I'm staying in Mumbai. I have total 23 years of experience in IT infrastructure. I have worked for a couple of companies like Ernst & Young, ST Microelectronics, and Chipsoft Technology, where I have been given different responsibility to manage the IT infrastructure. My education is, I have done graduation in BCom, then I did my master's in computer applications, and then I'm pursuing my PhD for where I'm here right now. Some of the skills I have is the IT infrastructure definitely is the area, but I have a lot of experience in IT infrastructure build area, where I have done transformation and transition related programs for different organizations. I have certain industrial certification also. Some of them known are the MSP, Prince2, the Scrum Master, MCSC, and the CLE. So these are some of the certifications, industrial certification I have done, which are important for me to do my job. I'll move for the today's agenda. So we'll start with, I'll quickly cover my journey for this PhD program. Then why I have chosen this topic. Then I'll cover each chapter which I have mentioned in my thesis, which is introduction, literature analysis, research methodology, data analysis, interpretation, and then the conclusion. Thereafter, I'll mention the journal and papers where I have published and the conferences which I have attended, and I will end up with the acknowledgement. So I started this journey in 2016 June when I enrolled with the esteemed university ICFI. In 2017, my topic is registered here. Then 2019 November, I completed the pilot study and data collection phase. That's completed with the target that by end of 2020, I'll submit my thesis, but it delayed due to two reasons. One is the pandemic. Being a part of IT infrastructure, the 2020 was very tough for me. My organization where the 10% people are working from home and 90% people were working from office, that paradigm changed altogether. So to build the setup for them, to build the security provisioning, all these things took 24/7 job. So somewhere I could not give enough time to complete this in time. So it little stretched to 2021 July. The second reason was the government of India changed the criteria for small, medium, and large scale industry, which also I need to reevaluate my data on the basis of their new definition. So that are two reasons which stretched this PhD to a certain extent. These are the action taken report, the actions which are given by external examiners. I have listed down here with the action which I have taken against those comments given by external examiners. So total 16 actions were given to me, which I have taken action on, and those are completed. Should I spend some time on this or I can go ahead? Okay. So although these will be covered in consecutive slides, I've added those also. Why this topic is chosen? That's important. So the first thing is, in 2016, IoT was a buzzword. It was, people have started implementing it, but it was not at a full-fledged use. The use cases were not very known and defined that time. I was also reading this a lot about the IoT, how it is going to impact. For the smart home, for the smart building, there were defined use cases. The other use cases which I can evaluate that where the IoT is playing a significant role, and that time also can play a significant role, is the manufacturing industry and the health industry. Again, in the health industry, the trust on the technology to treat a patient is not so much high. It is still not that high. That is why some of the reason in the health industry, it's taking slow pace. However, there are defined use case for the manufacturing organizations that how they can take benefit and what business problem they can solve with the IoT. But most of the literatures were saying that it is not adopted because of security reasons. Maximum out of 10 literature paper, if you read, the 8 are saying that it is the security which is prohibiting the acceptance of the IoT in manufacturing organizations or in other sectors also. So that triggered in my mind that I should look at that, is it the security which is the only reason, or there are other factors which are contributing and which are also a barrier in adoption of IoT in the manufacturing sector, where most of the advantages can be taken. Some of the known advantages like connected factory, you have to build your different 2 units, you have to expand. You cannot take space at the same, you cannot start your new unit at the same space. You have a factory in a different region. There are many reasons. You are working on a vendor-based model where you need to work in collaboration with the vendor. So there are certain reasons you need to work in a connected factory. So IoT is the solution for that. The production visibility, you want to see that how much production is going on each and every day. that's the IoT is the solution. Safety at work, which is the most important factor these days, can be achieved through IoT. I met IT head of BPCL, where they showed me that how IoT is implemented in their refineries, which was one of the classical example. They said they have in the Bina refinery. Bina is in Madhya Pradesh, where they have implemented their, they have started their new refinery 5 years back, and being the new products, they can implement IoT easily there. The area where they find the health hazard for the employees, they have implemented IoT to automate the things. So certain use cases are there which IoT is important and we can use this. The predictive maintenance is the most important things to reduce the downtime. You know in advance if something is going to down, and with the IoT you can fix it also. That is one of the biggest and the most important use case for the IoT in the manufacturing organizations. So and so forth. So these are the reasons I thought I should evaluate this, understand, is it the security or there are other reasons which are also contributing in blocking the adoption of IoT in manufacturing sector. The two graphs are explaining that how it is, some of the surveys are done where it is proven that it is how it is important for the manufacturing organization. With this, I will move to the introduction, the first chapter. So it is important to understand what is IoT. So let's start with that. Most of you now know. I think when I started in 2016, I used to explain people what is IoT, but it is now, as Sir said, it is now a very known technology and been used at many places. Even in our offices, we have started using it to maintain our data centers also. So in quick words, it is the physical objects that are embedded with sensors and which have the softwares, has the processing ability and the ability to automate with the connected world and take decision itself. So what I want to say is a machine or a physical device embedded with the sensors. The sensors can collect data. The data can send to the internet on a cloud where the data can be processed, and which is the cloud is connected to the other factory or the other machines at different geography also. And the decisions are taken on the data analysis without any human intervention. That's the magic of the IoT. So it's the second extension of the automation, but without any human intervention. And all the decisions can be taken through the data analysis. So you will find two words, IoT and IIoT. So these are similar words. The IoT is used for the non-industry places, but the terminology is same. While the IoT is used for the mostly for the consumption products. With this, allow me to move to the framework of this study, because that's the framework which you can relate, and then rest of the study is based, rest of the presentations are based on this framework, will help you. In this framework, we have taken 3 constructs from UAUT. So UAUT is the technology adoption models. There are close to 10 technology adoptions models are available, like TRA, TAM, TAM2, then motivation model, so and PC adoption, so and so forth. UAUT by Mr. Venkatesh and his colleagues together build a model. They studied the previous models were created, and then they build a unified model, which is consolidation of the previous studies made by different researchers. And they come with the model UAUT. In the UAUT, they have given 4 factors: performance expectancy, effort expectancy, facilitating condition, and social influence. Why? So we have included performance expectancy, effort expectancy, facilitating condition, while social influence is not included in this study, because the social influence is himself, the Venkateshwar explained that it is basically a peer pressure, or you are in some influence, you are taking the decision. because the UAUT model is built, which is used for organization as well as on a personal use, the consumable devices. That model can be used for both purpose. The social influence is something which is not accurate and not giving any value to the organization when we are studying for an organization. That is why that has been removed from this study. However, a security awareness is being added, as I explained earlier in the previous slides, that security is a very important concern. All the literatures are focusing on security, which is the barrier in adoption of IoT. So it is important to understand, along with the other three constructs, whether which one is playing bigger role or which one is the roadblocker in adoption of IoT in the manufacturing organizations. So after the UAUT, Venkatesh come with the UAUT2 model also. We have not adopted UAUT2 because that's absolutely focusing on the consumable devices. Along with these parameters, they have added some additional parameters like pleasure to use a technology. If you got the iPhone, an expensive iPhone, the pleasure you have to using this technology, those factors are added. The age, the gender, those factors are added. So those are good for the consumable devices like phones, mobile phones, your tablets, your laptops, desktops, but not putting any significant value when we are studying for the organization. That is the reason we removed that. The second reason, we have not taken the moderators here because they are using moderators like gender and age. We have not taken those moderators because in this study, when we collected the data, if we found that 92% participants are the male and only 8% are the female. The gender diversity is an issue in India as well as outside, which is very known, and most of the organizations these days are working in this direction, which is quite visible in this study, that the male are prominent and they are at the higher designations. So if we include that factor, we probably not get, and we get some biased results. That is why we have removed it. Similarly, if we look for the age factor as a moderator, the age we have 84% users who are from 35 to 55 in that group of age. So significant numbers are in this age. That is the another reason we have removed those two moderators outside. And we have selected the size of the company as the moderator because that will give us some focus that which area in the industry is the large size organization, medium size organization, or small size organization impacting these constructs: performance expectancy, effort expectancy, facilitating engine, and security awareness. And in many studies, you will find, in many literatures, you will find people have used the size of the organization, but they have worked in a silos. They have talked about IoT adoption for the large size organization or IoT adoption for the small size organization. This study is going to give us a unified view that how these factors are going to impact the adoption of IoT in manufacturing organization, and how the size of the organization as moderator going to strengthen or weaken the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. With that, I'll move to the next. Just give me, I'm getting a lot of pop-up. Let me hide this. Okay. So the problem this study is going to address is identify the reason influencing the user's interaction to adopt the IoT in manufacturing industry. I talked about that. It will also analyze what are the other factors which are going to impact the adoption of IoT, which is being taken from the UAUT model. The study also explores the three size of the organizations large, medium, and small, how, as a moderator, how are they going to strengthen or weaken the relationship between independent and dependent variable? With this, I'll move to the literature review. So I studied close to 250 literatures. However, these 173 I have made reference in my study, in my thesis, which includes 9 books, 63 journals, 4 conference papers, 93 websites, and 4 theses. Some of the very important ones I have mentioned on the left side. These are the 3 theses. And as the only thesis which I get closer to my research was the impact of consumer security awareness on adoption of IoT, done in US by Harper AA. He has done this study on the consumer products rather on the manufacturing. So somehow it has some of the things which is similar here. I referred that also. In the literature, it was important for me to understand the security in detail. And before understanding the security, I need to understand the architecture of IoT. So the IoT is divided. If you look into the layers, there are different architects who has defined the architecture of IoT, 3-layer, 4-layer, and 5-layer. This is the best I found after the literature review, and I have mentioned here. So perception layer is basically, it collects data from different devices, and then transport layer is responsible for end-to-end communication of the data. Process layer takes data from the transport layer and then process it and examine the data and only process the useful data. Any unwanted data is removed at this layer. The application layer is for the communication between applications, 2 applications. That layer is used, and then comes the business layer, which basically controls the whole system and make sure all the layers are doing their job. This is how the high-level view of the architecture is made. Thereafter, it was important for me to understand that what are the different security threats at the different layers. This slide talks about this. We have 5 layers which I have mentioned: perception layer, transport layer, processing layer, business and application layer. And these are the security threats at different level, which we need to manage. Like man in the middle. I was just talking about some of the known ones: spoofing, that comes at the transport layer. Then exhausting, collation, and malware attacks at the processing layer, where the data is processed. Then SQL injection, virus, malware, DDoS. These attacks are on the application and the business, mainly on the application layer. These attacks are possible. Then through the literature review, I could find that how can we mitigate those security risks. So the nowadays different. So if, as I told initially, it is the huge infrastructure you need to build if you need to use the IoT. And you need to look at the security at each layer. It's been the end user product. You need to look at the posture check. The right authenticated device and right authenticated user can access your IoT landscape. Through the posture check, you can do that. Then coming at the network layer, you need to work on a different tools to make sure your network is protected. First, we did from the end user endpoint, how they are connecting to your network. And then at the network layer, you need to look at the traffic flowing within your different product, east to west traffic, that is protected. Then you need to make sure any traffic which is going outside is protected. If it has any DNS link, that is protected. After the network, then you need to look at the wherever your servers are hosted. You need to look at that level of security, whether the east to west traffic within the data center is protected. If a malware attack happened on the one of the server, how you will protect your rest of the servers. So the challenge is huge, because the word internet first. Because of the internet, we need to make sure all the protections are given. Only then you can think of implementing your IoT landscape. So the articles, what I am saying, is genuine. The problem is bigger, because a lot of protection you need to look at to make sure your IoT environment is 100% protected. This is basically the area we need to look at, where the securities we need to look at, the user authentication first starting with, then user access. We need to look at, we need to protect the content. When content is in transition, we need to protect that also. We need to protect the network. We need to protect the storage where content is stored. So different area we need to look at where the protection mechanism is required. Some of the challenges for the IoT, why we are saying the IoT environment is not secure, that is why people are not taking. So what are the things which is triggering this insecure environment? The first thing is I would say the most is the interoperability. There are many vendors who are delivering solution. There is a major need of a black box solution where one person or one organization can get end-to-end solution. Right now, there are different vendors involved who are providing solution, which is creating a problem for interoperability. We are not doing end-to-end testing. The patch management and software update is taking time. And the device monitoring is another major challenge because of different product, we don't have a single solution which can monitor all the devices for the safety and security. Something is hiding my screen. Okay. So in the study, after the security and everything, through the literature, I understood different technology models, technology adoption models, which are available. They are close to, if you look at, these are close to 8 or 9 models available, which different people has used different time. But UAUT was the most prominent because it has already covered most of the things which are given by others. So that is one of the reason the UAUT model was accepted for my study. Why UAUT 2 was not accepted, I already explained. I have mentioned it here also. UAUT has been used to describe user technology adoption behavior in organizational context. However, UAUT 2 model was extended from UAUT and was focused on individual perspective in technology adoption. So like mobile phones, if you are studying about the mobile phones, if you are doing internet banking, if you are talking about some tablets, probably this type of UAUT model 2 is more perfect there. However, for the study on the industry, the UAUT is the right model. That is why it has been chosen. So what are the constructs of the UAUT? Performance expectancy, we talked about. It explains the degree to which a person believes that using a particular system will help to improve the performance. So they feel that performance, if we'll use this technology, our performance will improve. Similarly, the effort expectancy talk about the ease of use of technology. I can easily learn and use this technology. The facilitating condition talk about that we have enough facilities available to use this technology. Likewise, for the IoT, the internet bandwidth is the main thing. That's without that we cannot run the IoT. So it's important, one of the most important facilitating condition. So and so forth. The social influence I talked about is basically the social influence is the degree to which a person observe that the importance of other believe that he or she should use a system. So because of this reason, the social influence is not included in this study. I have mentioned it there also. As explained by Venkatesh, the social influence significantly influences perceived usefulness via both internalization, in which people incorporate social influence into their own usefulness, perceptions, and identifications. In several studies where the study has been made on the industry for adoption of technologies, I noticed that the social influence has been removed. because of this reason. One of the reference I have mentioned here. What are the research gaps? So based on the literature, following us the gaps I could identify. The several studies are made on adoption of technology, but there is no specific research on the IoT adoption, particularly in the manufacturing area. That study was missing. Various technology adoption models are available and used by several researchers. However, cybersecurity, security concerns have not been mentioned by any researchers yet. There are several papers written, but I have not seen a consolidated view on the security along with these factors. However, the cybersecurity is the most important construct in this age, especially after the COVID. Size of the organization has a significant role in adoption of technology, and it is important to understand how the specific segment is strengthening or weakening the relationship between the constructs independent variable and dependent variable. That is also missing. There are study on that that the adoption of IoT in large organization or small organization, but a consolidated view is missing. That's how this study has been started. With this, I will move to the chapter 3. This is the flow of the study designed. We started with the literature review. I'll cover this in subsequent slides. We start with the literature review and the academic consultation, identifying the problem for the next one, then define research questions and hypothesis. We'll discuss that. Define research methodology. We'll also discuss this. Then define population and size of the population. Most important, we'll talk about this. Then we'll design the questionnaire for doing the survey. Pilot study thereafter. We collected the data for the main study. Data is analyzed and conclusion is made for the data. Now in consecutive slides, we'll talk about this. So problem identification, we have already talked about it. So I'll not spend too much time on it. We need to understand whether the security is the main concerns for the adoption. Security awareness is the main concern for the adoption of IoT, or there are other factors which we need to pay attention to. So with this research hypothesis, the first hypothesis is on the security, which is talking about if the security awareness influence consumer intention to adopt the IoT in manufacturing organization or not. So it is explained with this diagram. So there are two hypotheses related to security awareness. Likewise, rest of the, we'll discuss that also. So security awareness is the independent variable. It's the relationship. We need to find out its relationship with the intention to adopt IoT, which is dependent variable. So first we'll define this, whether there is a correlation between these two. And then we'll see which size of organization is strengthening or weakening the relationship. So the second hypothesis comes, the organization size moderates the relationship between security awareness and consumer intention to adopt the IoT in manufacturing companies. Similarly, for performance expectancy, we have done same thing. Performance expectancy is the independent variable. Dependent variable is the intention to adopt the IoT. We'll check the impact on the relationship through the size of the organization as a moderator. The third one is the effort expectancy. Same, I'll not repeat. We are doing same thing here, dependent variable, independent variable, along with the moderators. And last one is the facilitating condition. So the whole study will now talk about these hypotheses. Okay, so after that, it's time to now look at the target population. So our target group of population is owners and the senior management who are running large, small, and medium-sized organizations in manufacturing in Mumbai. And we found the list of organization from the MSME who has office in Delhi. We got the list, and that was the first point we starting and designing the survey from there. So survey questions are parallelly we worked on streamlining that, how many users, how many participants we need to do our study. Along with that, we started building the questionnaire. So total 43 questions were designed for the dependent variable and independent variables. Out of 43, 25 questions are basically for the construct, and 17 were the generic questions like name, address, your email IDs, all those things. So if you look at dependent variable, and to improve the validity of our survey, we have taken the questionnaire, the questions which are already in used by different scholars for the research. And these questions are made by Venkateshwar and his colleague for the UAUT model and the TAM model. So I have given the references from where the questions for dependent variable intention to adopt the IoT is taken from UAUT model. The awareness of IoT was a generic question we added to improve the validity of data. If a participant is not aware of IoT, we have removed his record from the analysis, because then he cannot give us the right answer on the performance, facilitating condition, because he doesn't have the basic knowledge on the IoT. So that has been cross-checked. And if the awareness of IoT is no, we have removed him from the further analysis. Security awareness also not been taken from UAUT model. It has been taken from the some parts has been taken from the Harper A's thesis, which I have showed you in my previous slides. Along with that, there are several questionnaire available related to security online, which is because these days it is important factor. So many surveys are available. I looked at that, and then carefully I build 5 questions to understand the security awareness of the end users. Performance expectancy is also been taken from the UAUT model, and similarly the effort expectancy and the facilitating condition. So these questions were already being used for several different studies for technology adoptions, and same has been adopted to make sure the questionnaire is valid and the answers we are receiving against are valid for this study. The pilot study was done on this questionnaire. The main intention of pilot run was to run the survey through the end user to understand if they are able to understand the questions properly and they are able to answer it, and if there is any difficulty to improve that. However, the results were quite positive, because as I said, the questionnaires were earlier made by the scholars very carefully. So using same helped us. Secondly, we wanted to check whether the data is consistent. The independent variable, the questions used in independent variable are internally consistent using the Cronbench alpha that's we used. So, and that is also successfully. Then multi-collinearity has to be tested between the 2 variables. That is also been tested through this. However, the multi-collinearity, I'll show you the results also in the consecutive slides. So from there we started, when we collected the data from MSME, we get 354,932 records. All these records are not relevant to us. We need only manufacturing organization and which are active and registered in Mumbai. So we filtered out those data, and 40,737 were the records we found from the different areas of manufacturing, which includes food and leather, machinery and equipment, metals, paper product, textile, and wood products. This is how we've been segregated. Thereafter, it was important for us to now segregate this data into the size of the organization. As per the Government of India ruling, 1st June 2020, we can segregate the organizations in sizes on these criteria. If the turnover is between 5 to 50 crores, it is a small. they have given the investment in plant and machinery also. Getting data in this area was difficult. Hence, for most of the study, we have used this data. 50 to 250 are the medium size, and any organization having turnover more than 250 will be part of large size organization. That's the criteria we have taken to segregate the industries, the organizations into the as per size. Now, the next step was to calculate how many samples do we need for the survey. So we use Solvent's guidelines, and 396 is the number we need to do an effective study. So 700 records we identified using the simple random sampling method. The sample records were taken proportionately from each manufacturing industry and from the size of the organization. The samples were picked randomly using the randomizer.org site, which has been referred by different scholars in the study. So same I used to find the samples proportionately from the different manufacturing industry and the different size of the industry in the same segment. The contact detail of owners and senior managements and the information security heads were collected through different internet sites and the social media sites. The MSME has also provided data on that, but some of them were landlines. It was difficult. That was the most difficult phase of this. So we need to identify the owners. That is why we started with 700 so that we can come to the 400. Out of 700, 600 people were contacted through the phone, face-to-face interviews, and the response were received from 500, close to 500 users. And those records were the records which were incomplete. The information is not there, or I said they said that there is no awareness of IoT. Those records were removed. So total 423 records we identify to pursue our analysis. So this is how these 423 records were segregated into small, medium, and large organizations and different organization segment of the manufacturing organization. The data collection is done through statements design, the questionnaire, which I talked about. We took reference from the UAUT model and from a thesis written by Harper AA. The 5-point Likert scale is used to collect the data, which is given below. The 1 is strongly agreed and the 5 is strongly disagreed. The responses were collected based on the 5 options, which is I mentioned. There is the supporting data, that is organizational financial status and number of employees are collected to MSME. The supporting data is also verified during the interview where participants were ready to share the information. So when the MSME shared the data with us, they have given the turnover and the investment in plant and machinery, this data. And we also cross-check this also. Wherever the information received from the end user was different from the one we got from MSME, we use his information. Some of the names I have mentioned, whom I did the data collection from. The list is long. As I said, close to 600 users were identified to start, but I just mentioned quickly a few of them. Like Sunil Bele, I spent a very good time with him. He's the IT head for Blue Star organization. He showed me how the IoT is used and quite welcoming guy and helped me understand how the IoT is implemented in their organization. So and so forth. I missed to mention the name of the BPCL guy. He also spent good time with me. So after that, the data analysis needs to be designed. So reliability test of independent variable using Cronbench alpha been done. Yeah. And then multicollinearity test was performed Thereafter, the outliers were removed using the interquartile range. Then we established the correlation between dependent and independent variables. Thereafter, multiple regression test was run on independent variable. The next phase is now we need to include size of the organization also. For that, because this is the categorical variable, we have built a dummy variable for this, for the size of the organization. Then interaction variable from the size of the organization, and the independent variables were built. I will show you this in the subsequent slides in a picture that would help you to understand. And then multiple regression test was run to understand whether the interaction variable is strengthening or weakening the relationship. Then comes the rationale for multiple regression test. Why we are using multiple regression test? Because multiple regression tests allow researchers to assess the strength of the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. It has been used by many researchers in the past. It has the clear mechanisms of giving the p-value, which can identify whether the model is significant or not significant. And we have using the standard value of 0.05, 5%, if to accept it is statically accepted or not accepted. The coefficient describes the change in the value of an independent variable. So with the coefficient beta value, we can define out how, with the change in the independent variable, how the dependent variable will be changed collectively or independently. We'll show that in further slides. So this is the reason the multiple regression was used here. And many researchers in the past has used this analysis to do the comparison or to establish the relationship between independent and dependent variable. With this, I'll move to the slides for chapter 4, which is data analysis and interpretation. So this is the pilot study we did. The Cron-Match alpha values shows that it is accepted. The results are greater than 9, which is concluding the reliability of 4 independent variables. The VIF value are higher on some of the constructs, but the study says that if the sample size is small, such results are possible. So we accepted these results here and moved to the main study, and you will see in main study we are not facing this issue. The multicollinearity issue is not there because the sample size is 423. And here we have used 50 as a sample. That is the reason the collinearity is high somewhere. So the Cron-Match alpha test provides that the multiple questions mentioned for each independent variables are reliable. The multicollinearity test results shows low correlation among the independent variables. There is moderate correlation among some. The practical experience during the survey show that the users are able to understand the questions and they are very comfortable answering it. So that was the main purpose. And I think our pilot run was successful. Then we move to the execution of main study. As I told that why the gender is not included, one of the factor is the 92% are the male in our study, being the manufacturing sector and the diversity issue, which is evident. The age, if you look at the 84% people are in the age of 36 to 45 years. That is one of the reasons the age is also not included to not bias the data. Education we collected, but we have not used in our study. So further, this is the flow we have taken to complete the data analysis of main study. We did the reliable testing with the Cron-Match. Then we have done the VIF and removed the outlier. Likewise, we did for earlier we explained the run correlation between the dependent variable. Then dummy variables are created, interaction variables are created, and then the regression and ANOVA test are run to look at the impact of the large, small, and medium-sized organizations. The Cronbach alpha test result shows the values are high. So these are saying that it is consistent. If you look at the references, I have taken the reference here for Glenn S, who has given these values. The greater than 9 is excellent, between 9 to 8 is good, so and so forth. So taking that value, the Cronbach alpha test is showing the 4 independent variable and describes reliability of these variables internally. The VIF test again been done, as I told you. There we found the VIF values are above 5 also, but with the higher number of records for analysis, this has been reduced significantly, and these are the values which are acceptable. Similarly, I have taken the reference of Stephen Glenn. Then it says if 1, no correlation, 2 to 5 is moderate correlation, and greater than 5 is the high correlation. So if you look at somewhere we have moderate correlation, which is accepted, and most of the places is close to 1, which shows that there is no correlation among the independent variables. Then we use IRQ using SPSS to outlayer the data. 17 records were identified and those were removed, and we started with 406 records for further analysis. This is the correlation established between independent and dependent variable, and you will see these are positive correlation between IU stands for the intention to adopt IoT, SA is for security awareness, P is for performance expectancy, effort expectancy, and facilitating condition. So you will see these are positive correlations and on the higher side, so which is a good result. Then the regression test explains 0.932, 0.869 is the R square, and higher square explain that the model fits your data. So it says 86.9% data fits into the regression model, which is also a very good number. The further regression test explain this. I think I can move directly to the diagrams, which will help you to understand it in detail. Rather, we explain these numbers, so that will help you. So this is what the results are. The initial, this model was explained. I've not shown the moderators here so that I can explain only the correlation between the independent and dependent variable and the result of the regression test. So the correlation between security awareness, performance expectancy, effort expectancy, and facilitating condition, you can see are close to the 5, somewhere is 6 also, 0.6 also, so which is higher and shows there is a correlation among independent and dependent variable. The unstandardized beta value explains the influence of independent variable on the dependent variable independently. So if you look at it is 0.392, not very high, but it is explaining there is a influence of security awareness and rest of the 3 construct on the intention to adopt the IoT. Similarly, the standard beta value explains the collectively impact. Collectively means security awareness along with other 3 constructs, how they are going to influence the intention to adopt the IoT. So the values are lower, but it is positive and showing that there are influence. The next level of study was to build an interaction variable. So first we build the dummy variable with the large size organization, medium size organization, and small size organization. Along with the independent variable and the dummy variable, we have built the interaction variable, which is security awareness and the large size organization. So this interaction variable, we need to check the impact of these interaction variable on the independent and dependent variable. So if we look at this, do you want me to put some focus or these numbers are readable? Let me zoom in this area. Okay. So these numbers are saying the p-value is 0. So model has the significance value. The independent impact is 0.23, 0.289, and 0.32. So there is impact. It's lower, but there is impact. Similarly, the collectively impact is higher. And what these numbers are saying, the large size organization has lesser impact than the medium and the small size organization, because 0.547 and the numbers have significantly changed here. So collectively, the security awareness along with the large size organization is not impacting the intention of adoptee as much as the medium and the small size organizations are doing. If I move to next slide, which is with the performance expectancy, I will again zoom in. So results are saying same thing. The collectively, the impact of large size organization is lesser as compared to the medium and the small size organizations. Same for the effort expectancy and the facilitating condition. The numbers are lower for the large size organization as compared to the small and medium size organization. So this concludes that there is an impact of each construct on the intention to adopt the IoT independently. And if we use the moderator, which is large, small, and medium size organization, the large size organizations are impacting, but not as much as the small and medium sized organizations are impacting, and strengthening the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. So rest of the slides, same things are explained, so I'll not cover that. So each hypothesis is explained similar way. Thereafter, I have done the comparison of finding of research with literature. So my literature review says there are two views for security awareness. Some of the researchers are saying that yes, security plays a significant role. However, some are saying no, people don't consider security very seriously. While our study says yes, security awareness is an important construct in adoption of IoT. Similarly, for performance expectancy, there are two views. I found some of the people are saying performance expectancy is important. Some are saying it's not important. I mentioned some of the references also here from where I picked this up. However, our study says the performance expectancy is important. Effort expectancy, most of the articles are saying, or the research are saying, is not a significant factor. However, our study is saying it's significant. Facilitating condition is the most important, which is raised by all the researchers, that it is playing a significant role in adoption of the technology, any technology. And our study also support this. After that, we'll talk about the implication of the study for the service provider. So as per the researcher, the performance expectancy for the service provider, I would say the broad line is they need to understand that the small and medium size needs more attention. They are playing a significant role in impact. So solution should be built considering their demand in mind. That is the main takeaway from this study for them. Their results are, their budgets are low, well understood. So they should build the solutions which can be given to them on a low cost, or some profit sharing model they can build. So that is for the service provider, that is the intake. For the policymaker, I would say government is paying a lot of attention on the industry 4.0 and the associated automation with this. With this study, they can understand that it's the medium and the small size organization which need attention, and they can build some taxation relations for them, so that specific, if they are building using the IoT environment, they can be given some tax rebates, or some special loan schemes can be opened for them so that they can come forward and they can adopt the IoT. The implication for academic institutes, I would say there is an opportunity for academic institutes and the industry. There is a win-win solution. If they will build the workforce, they will design their curriculum to focus on IoT for manufacturing. They can build the workforce for industry and help us in the facilitating condition, to improve the facilitating condition, which is the significant. We found that which is the significant, and most of the study are saying the facilitating condition is the significant area. It would help to generate business for the education institutes as well as for the industry to build the workforce who can build and manage the IoT landscape. For the researchers, the finding of this research bring out the significance for various factors that impact the adoption of IoT. 3 factors of UAT model: security awareness, along with security awareness, could be used in some other research models. So this is a framework is ready now. They can use this framework for other segments of the industry, and they can use it. They can also add some of the constructs which I have not because of several reasons. They can add that and they can execute same study. Suggestions for future research. As I told, I would say this study, if we repeat it every year or after some interval, the results can differ, because the awareness of IoT and awareness of security is changing day by day. The magazines, the newspapers, the other social media is discussing lot about security. There were days when antivirus was the only security measure available, but now there are so many security measures each day in, day out. You need to, even you are using a mobile phone, you need to see that how you can make your mobile secure. Your data should not breach. Nobody should access or spread any malware into your mobile phone. So the knowledge is increasing. I would say with this increasing knowledge and understanding of security, the mitigation knowledge is also improving. So that will improve, or that will change the data if this study will be repeated. The security awareness independent variable can be further explored by adding more parameters like security fatigue to better understand the paradox between security awareness and IoT adoption. This research is performed on a manufacturing company. I would say the same can be used for other industries to find out what are the impact and which constructs are important. The limitation of this study is the security fatigue is also taken as one of the important parameters, which is not included here. The impact of competitors on the adoption of IoT is also not explored in this study. So maybe the next study, in the future study, I'll see that if we can add that also in the next white papers or the papers for the journals, if we can add the competitors' impact on adoption of IoT. These are some of the journals where I have published my paper. The first paper I published, in fact, is named as Factor Impacting Adoption of IIoT, published in the Turkish Online Journal on Quantitative Inquiry, Volume 12. Thanks to Dr. Tarak and Dr. Sushil supporting me in the first 2 papers. The second paper I did for the impact of security awareness on adoption of industrial Internet of Things. The third is the paper, The Internet of Things, Imperative for Our Survival, that is published in our esteemed university for IUJ. The last paper I published in the project management in dynamic environment, which is one of my core area of working, again in my esteemed university, which is IUJ. Then I attended 2 conferences, International Conference on IoT in Social Industry, Analytics and Communication. The second is the National Conference on the Business Dynamics. These 2 conferences I've attended. With this, I want to extend my hands to thanks first to my parents, to Almighty, who supported me to reach very close to the finish line. It was not possible without my family, my colleagues and friends who supported me in this journey. I want to deeply thanks to Professor Rao. Trust, his support was always there. He helped me to design this study. He helped me to streamline the title of this study. And throughout the journey, he supported me very well. Thank you, sir, so much. My supervisor and co-supervisor, Dr. Tarak and Dr. Sushil, your contribution is without any word of thanks. It's beyond that. You always pushed me to complete this study. Many times I got busy into many things, but you keep pushing me to complete it. And today I'm standing here. Thank you very much. Great support from the faculty and staff of IUJ and PhD support team. Dr. Hariharan, Dr. BM Singh, Dr. KK Nag. A very special thanks to Dr. Rajkumar. He supported me very well during the last time, during the data analysis. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Rumna Bhattacharya, always there to help. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Dilip, Subroto, Dr. Subroto, Dr. Palvi, Dr. Bagpat, Dr. Sutendra, and Dr. Susan. Thank you very much. And all those who are indirectly connected with me to help me in completing this study, working in background, and I'm not aware of. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, sir.
So I request Dr. Arpan Kaur to conduct his bioavacy.
Thank you, Professor Rao. So it is a very interesting presentation, Mr. Gurvinder. So I have a couple of questions. When you typically talk of any kind of adoption related studies, there has been huge amount of literature which has been published in adoption. Numerous theories, like you taught, also has got 3 different variations, 4 different variations. Then TAM has got 3-4 different variations. Then math model, TRA, TPB, so many different models are there. Now, one thing is typically very, very constant across these studies is that behavioral intention leads to use. So the next constructs, a typical dependent construct is typically usage behavior, actual usage.
Yes, sir.
So any particular reason you have avoided this construct in your model?
The intention to adoption, actually, I believe that would be extension of this study. Maybe next level, we can do this study and we can find out those who showed the intention has actually converted into adoption or not. So that would be the future study. I was discussing this with my Dr. Paul, who is my supervisor, and maybe we can go in future and we can write a paper on this, understanding that how many are actually converted in since 2019 when we took this data.
Okay, so you want to extend this model having the dependent variable as usage behavior. That is fine.
Yeah.
Another question, like typically when you talk of these constructs, which are independent constructs for you, these constructs would typically also have, will also have little bit of factor loading among themselves also. Typically, what is not considered is how you are controlling for few other interaction effects within the model. Can you explain, any particular reason for not capturing interaction effects?
I need to understand this question, if you can help me to.
So for example, you have different constructs. These are all perception-based constructs, right? So I ask you whether, I'm wearing blue or not. Now that's a perception. You perceive this to be blue. Maybe somebody else perceives this to be green. So when you have multiple constructs which are perception level, uh, normative formity constructs, technically sometimes these are called, but like whenever it is a perception driven construct, when somebody is responding to a perception driven construct, there is often a loading of the previous constructs that has been measured or the subsequent constructs which are being measured. So there is a factor loading effect and the interaction among the variables itself. So any thoughts on this?
So right now we followed a UAUT model straightforward, which was referenced by many researchers, and the same construct were picked from there. We compared between UAUT 1 and 2, not 1, UAUT and the UAUT 2 to identify which is more
So
suitable.
UTOT model itself, when UTOT model is actually validated, typically the validation would look into these things only.
Yeah, so it is well
UTOT
accepted.
model validation. I'm not talking of the model, but the validation, the methodology through which you are validating the model.
So the if I say
Gurvinder, talk of those theses you have followed. On those theses, the constructs has been described on upon those which you have extended. Okay, talk of those constructs here.
yeah, so the validation of thesis that whether we are using right model or not, security exception, that was basically through the literature. We found that most of the adoption models, wherever the researcher has used the adoption model, they has used TAM, mostly TAM2 or the UAUT. Some of them has used UAUT2 also. So this is one of the area we checked that this is the most suitable. And if you look at the research papers who are done independently, they have not considered all the factors together. Even they have done separately for the performance, facilitating conditions. They have taken and they have referenced these models only. There are ample of examples are given. So this is one of the factor we have taken, that which is saying that, okay, we are adopting the right model.
Okay. No more questions from my side.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arpankar. Dr. Praveen Panigrahi, sir. Sir, can you just unmute, sir? Dr. Panigrahi, can you please unmute?
Yes, just
Okay, right.
because my mouse was not working. That's
okay.
I know. I'm unmute. Yeah, very good, Gurvinder Singh. I like, although you are from, I try to find out what is good in your research. And the most, what I feel happy that even if you are from industry, you have tried your best to capture certain things, what is done in academics. Of course, you have gone through the process. I have a couple of questions. I'll ask some fundamental questions also. Okay,
Yes,
just so for your defense. Now, you said that Dr. Arpan has also raised this thing, but I will post in a different format. See, why you are so touchy about UTIT model?
Okay.
Why are you so touchy? There are 1,000 models. As Dr. Arpan said, like, why don't you take your TOE, Technology, Organization, Environment, which if I say that it is the best suited model for you, why are you so touchy about UTIT model? And directly, you even use the word while answering to Dr. Arpan that we go straight forward to the model. This statement, which I say it is not desirable, because the model selection, you have taken the data, you have taken the literature from US or non-Indian literature, the literature that talks about the target group which is not there in India. But you spoke to the people who are in India. You took the data from India. Now, my most important questions to you, what is new in your research?
Okay.
The UTAT is not new. Model is not new, means nothing is new. What is new in your research?
Yeah. So, sir, why I'm touchy about UAUT, why I have used it, let me answer this. So it's not that only the one of the study, one research I have mentioned, which I referred in my slides, Dr. Harper. I have referred many research in this area, and most of them are using UAUT, even in India's researchers.
Gurvinder, I want to tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
All the research are not targeting India, but you talk about India. Did you speak to outside India people?
No. So in India, even the research which I have done in India.
No. No. What journals you selected? Tell me. I just want to know. What are the journals that talk about Indian target group?
I need to refer that. I can share that information offline.
No, it is simply impossible.
Yeah.
What I want to say. What would have been better in your case? Now, the new things comes only after talking to the like a qual study should be taken to gather primary some information that what are the things that impact this. You could have got many more variables or factors that you should have help in choosing the appropriate model. Model should have been chosen considering what Indian people are talking. What are the things they are talking? And from there, you bring something from literature and say that ask these people, sir, why got so many construct from literature? Is it not working from you? They will say whether it is working or not working. And also you say that, sir, you are talking something which is I don't find in literature. Then they say that this is new in India. This is the factor that is most prevalent in India, not in outside India. Hence, that factor could have been considered while deciding the model. And the model can be anything. And maybe model may not exist for you. And you could have created your own model or extension of model. But directly selecting one established model to fit your thing means you are fitting your horse thing in a crow soul. Soul is crow, but your data is horse and you are putting horse on crow. That is what I feel. So what I thought means what would be good idea that you collect some type of inductive inquiry from the people,
industry
people to whom you spoke, and find out, sir, what is new in your thing? What is the difference between you and India? Because I have referred all the papers from outside India. But India is different. India has many factors. That is what should have been done in your research, and you should have factored that, and that would have been your new in research. Instead of security awareness, you could have got another 4 or 5 things that may not be in there in the UTAT model. You are forcibly jabardast, you have bought UTAT. Okay. Now, what I want to tell you, whatever data you could have got from the discussion from this, which is rich in information, knowledge, they would have said, sir, this UTAT model is a worst. It cannot be applied in Indian condition. That validation should have been done. This side, that side, both should have been done to arrive one UTAT, or it may be UTAT, but I am challenging you. It could have been also TOE. It may not be anyone. It's a mixture of something which is new for you. That would have been your new. This is what my understanding. You understand? We do the research in Indian conditions, considering Indian. That's why we say that it is new. My research is new. That is what I think. So, what is your view on this?
Okay, to correct this problem, I can do it through certain papers. I'll do that. I can speak to a couple of the guys and I can understand what are the other challenges.
You
they
may
are facing.
find not a single variable, whatever you have taken, considered, will work for Indian condition. That will be your surprise. It may not. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
That's all. The second thing, can you tell me, you said that facilitating condition, how did you collect data in Corona?
no, the data was collected in 2019. Now, by November
But
2019.
November 19. But you
Yeah.
have done many things, referred paper, which is 2021.
Yeah. So I could not did much progress during the pandemic because of
Okay,
my.
it's okay. Now
my
my
work.
question is that you collected landline. Did you ask the question or ask them to fill up?
No. So some of the senior guys I met, like BPCL guy.
Met means physically.
Physically, I met couple of them.
And
not all.
then you read the question and you answer on behalf of them.
Yeah, I discussed with them on the IT.
Who filled up the answer?
Yeah, I filled the answer.
You filled the answer.
Yes.
Why? Certain bias can be incorporated. How can I rely on you just because you are my student? How can I rely on you? First thing, because you are asking question. Are they idiots? Sorry, not idiots. Are they very low knowledge? They can't understand your English. Then you should have given Hindi or local language Telugu.
Sir, I would say hardly 5 to 10% people I could meet. Rest of them on the phone.
Now, my question is different. You spoke to some of them face to face. You said that I call landline. I understand landline. Okay, through phone. Okay, these are the methods you followed. Now, do you expect any type of biasness in collecting this answer in this type of questions? There is a bias. There are 4 type of bias created if you ask yourself, if you use different methods to collect data. So there are papers by which you can check whether there is a bias created by you. Second, by people answering in different methodology. One landline phone, mobile phone. You didn't mention when did you get. Direct answer is rich information. Phone, not rich information. What is the minus? How do you control this? This is one thing you must consider. This is called wave analysis. And this wave analysis will tell you whether the data is correct or
not.
That is very good thing. But you have tried. I'm very happy that you have tried. Then the other question which I want to tell you, you said one factor was not significant. You understand? Some factor is not significant. You said. You
Yes.
said that large organization significant impact, but small and.
So I would say if the moderator you are talking about. Yeah, moderator, I'm saying that large organization has less impact on the influence
Why?
on the.
Earlier you assume, but now why you are getting result? You should explain. But you told that because your assumption, you took that thing in your thesis. Now you are saying it is not or it is less. What happened? Your assumption was wrong or your analysis is wrong? What is wrong? What is that thing that gives you different result? You thought something, you assumed something, but you got something. You need to explain, boss.
So why I said earlier that large size organization, because now I'm aware of results.
No, I have no objection in taking,
Yeah.
but you have taken, you said as if you are going to that, I am going to search kerosene in a Bata shop, and finally you say that I didn't get it. Your assumption and now what you are getting. Okay, so that is one. You need to be very careful about like what assumption you are taking, and you need to convince the audience that whatever assumption you took, why it is not coming, whether their people are not able to understand or not. That is one thing you need to see. The second, the other one which I want to say, you use the word random. Can you tell me random? What is the meaning of random?
Randomly, some of the numbers are picked.
No. Without using the word random, you explain me random.
Okay. So
you said random. You have used several times.
Yes. Random uses. So random is basically you select the data without intentionally knowing that
No,
this
that
is what you
a political statement. What is random? Okay, I'll explain you without wasting time. Random means, see, please remember this type of studies, your management research, random is banned. Random word cannot be used because you are not doing any random. Random means each unit are being selected. Each has a equal chance of being selected. You said you got it from SME from the list.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Now you selected randomly. I'm very happy that you have you use the term random generator, and I'm very happy that many people they don't know at least how random number is generated. But that is one point. That is good. But next question is that randomness means each unit of the universe or the population has an equal chance of being selected.
Yes, sir.
This is the point. Now, let us imagine 700 you chose, but suddenly you said that I remove something. Then it is not random. Did you say or not? Tell me.
Yes. So, sir, the random, when I choose the software to get the numbers, it has the option. Do you want to select one number once? As you said, the
That's
chances
all okay.
of.
I don't have
that.
any doubt on your randomness. But question is that when random numbers are selected, did you get 100 random? There are two properties, other properties. Whoever you selected must speak. Otherwise, it is not random. Say fast. Whoever is selected must speak. Is the condition satisfied in your case?
So only 17 we removed, which were outliers.
Why did you remove? That is called not random. Then don't say random. You say that I use purposive sampling. There is nothing harm. What is the harm of saying? Whatever you do, but using a word by definition may create problem for you in future. Okay. So then randomness is there. Randomness means if I select Dr. Haran, he must speak.
Yeah.
He has no other option. Otherwise, don't say it is random. So you have selected that, and how can you say now he is not selected? He is no. That means your purpose is not solved. That's why you are going for purpose. Who will speak? Who will speak means purpose. You have a purpose. Others are not attending. So that's why you better use avoid the word random. You write purposive. What is harm?
Yeah.
People are not answering your phone call. It is a purpose. You call them several times. But if you call several times, the quality of input reduces. Remember. That is why wave analysis, you should discard those where there is a chance of quality reduction of the input. Delay in response. I will delay in response means I am not interested actually. If you ask me, yes, no, yes, no. I give all bad data to you. But if I respond immediately, means I am giving good data. So how to distinguish good data and bad data? You remove bad data, otherwise you are biased. Your result is biased. But anyway, these are the things, fundamental stuff you can improve, and also like why you didn't take other models. You must able to answer because of this talking to these people. I am convinced that my model is this. There is no other model. That statement must come from you. Means any other whenever you are presenting, because then people will ask you. You are talking about India taking literature from US. What is new in your research? Then you said that my new in research is the rich information I got it from Indian population. What you did now? You took in US questionnaire and dump onto the India. So you ask, do you fly? Do you go to moon? They say, no, I'll not go moon. US people go to moon. These people don't go to moon. So you say, no, I don't go. So like that data, I question what you said. Many people don't understand this. So that person, if you take that, then it will be more
Right.
rich and you can defend yourself, okay, in your future.
Thank you, sir.
Is it
Thank you
okay?
very much. Definitely.
Hope
Thank
I
you
am
very
not
much.
troubling you.
No, it's not trouble. Definitely. I thought we should have a session earlier before starting the study. I could have done a better work then.
Yeah, it's a how to defend your thing, no? Because many people, if whatever you do, people can create another 10 questions. The only thing is that you should have taken very fundamental thing and then defend yourself. That's all. Minimum, whatever possible. But I'm happy. I'm really happy that you have taken the thing which I liked. You say random generator you used, that I like. And you have considered UTAT model. Being from industry, still you are using theory based. You are not. Another one important point. What is new in research means what is introduction to model? Introduction to what is new in your model? You said security is model. Let us imagine my body is a model. Can I put another hand and say that it is new human? No. People will say 3 hand is not. Okay. Similarly, when you say security awareness is another construct, you got UTAT, you got crow, and then you tail of crocodile you are putting in that crow. So then you cannot call it as crow, you cannot call it crocodile, because it is crow with a crocodile tail.
Right.
So you need to read this information. I'm not expecting that you to do at this level.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely no. But because they asked me, your university, I'm giving you some input to you for your future.
That will help. That will definitely help.
I'm not challenging
Writing
you.
me future papers. Yeah.
But future you can these things, so then it can go to a good paper job.
Right.
Otherwise, there is nothing else. You have done good work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much, Professor Praveen Panigrahi. I think the way you have very diligently evaluated and also conducted the VIVA was, I think that's something all of us appreciate and all of us stand to learn. And thank you very much. Professor Praveen Panigrahi is a kind of, is a distinguished professor from IIM Indore. And likewise, in fact, Dr. Arpan Kar, like he's heading the technology management kind of, the section in the IIT Delhi. And they're focused with regard to the technology kind of a management, So today, in fact, Mr. Gurvinder Singh, we are fortunate, you are fortunate that, you are, both of your external examiners, both of them are distinguished researchers in the same field. So I think to get it examined by them and to get, a tick mark from both of them, I think that is something that we should take pride in that,
Thank you, sir.
Definitely, I think,
Thank you very much.
The questions that they asked are all revealing. I think, maybe I think you need to kind of introspect and go into that.
This for the model, I'll definitely
because
think about the model.
Every researcher, maybe we can't say that I know everything. There are certain things we don't know.
Yeah.
And if we don't know, I think sometimes we should honestly say, sir, I don't know, I haven't thought. That's okay. I think, that kind of a humility, I think every researcher must have,
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much,
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Praveen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir,
You can call me Sir Praveen. That's all enough. Praveen. That's okay, sir. No doctor, nothing. Everyone is doctor, sir.
Sir, Doctor, this thing, Kar Saab, he has already given his, approval, and he has got another meeting. So because of that, Dr. Arpan Kar said, I am unable to stay back. And he sent a message to me saying that, I'm happy with that, But of course, the question that he asked, I think, maybe, that is something as a researcher, I think you got to look into that.
Yes, sir.
Though you call them at the independent constructs, there could be something interaction among them into that. That is something that the question that I asked, I think, maybe you didn't consider that. I think, at least we should think. So, so now, Dr. Tarkanath Pal, would you like to ask any questions? You also have got a right to ask before we throw it open to others.
Sir, one more thing I would like to or suggest, Gurvinder, that you have implemented the entire thing pre-COVID. and the entire thing has to be implemented and newly implemented on post-COVID, because post-COVID things are far different from the pre-COVID. This is the major thing, fine, which is a future scope of your of your research. So means implementing Praveen sir's inputs and Kaur sir's input, you implement these model in the post-COVID data, then you will be having a fabulous future on research.
The impact of the environment, the impact of the new COVID kind of anomalies.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
good.
Exactly.
Will work.
So,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah.
focus on building first a new model.
Good,
That
good.
is, Dr. Praveen has
Yeah.
shaken me well.
So you can contact me. I
Yeah,
can give
I'll
you.
definitely.
I can give you all the idea,
Yes,
papers,
yes.
everything, so that you can build up.
The
There is
build.
nothing
Great.
wrong. You understand?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
No,
So
his
definitely.
co-supervisor, Dr. Sushil Kumar, is also there. We request him to have, any questions that you want, you can ask, sir. Or you can make your comments, you are free to kind of express yourself, sir, in any way.
Okay. Sir, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hello, Mr. Gurvinder.
Yes, sir.
Actually, what is happening here, since you are coming from industry, so sometimes what happens, you may miss little bit intricacies or the nitty-gritties of academia. Say, for an example, how to define randomness, right? The concept would depend upon probability. That we have discussed everything, but because of some pressure, and since you're coming from industry day in day out and working there, so you are not able to sometimes explain few things. Fine. So take this thing very, in a sportsmanship, this thing manner, and work upon all these things. Probably your next paper would be able to please Dr. Praveen Kumar. Sir,
Yeah. I'll be happy to talk to Gurvinder and all the tag members, whatever is. I'll be happy because this is what we enjoy. So we enjoy those things, and but there is a scope, sir. Anyone, sir. If I will be in the place of Gurvinder now at this stage, another 10 question. I could not have answered many questions what people will ask. So now, even if I will sit in front of Gurvinder place, so knowledge is vast. So unless and until you work together, talk together, then nothing will improve. So I am happy, positive. I can help him in building up a paper, and he can put somewhere else.
No, Praveenji, in fact, all of our PhD scholars, they are all people with the industry experience. They've got a lot of domain knowledge, and we are trying to see on how to get the best out of them, how they can leverage the kind of domain knowledge to try and address the kind of real life problems in a systematic manner, using academic kind of research as a kind of framework. I think, that's what they are.
Sir, industry students are working under me and other places here at I am Indore. They are getting A star journal.
Okay, great.
Publication. We can't underestimate them. They are doing very good research.
So they are working in a passionate way.
How to drive the car. That's all.
Yeah, they are working very hard, sir. Very hard, and they are very, very.
They have, as sir said, Sushil sir said, that yes, they cannot define, but that is nothing harm of defining. Someone is not able to define. But if he does research, write, and all publish, there's so enough. Knowledge is very vast. It is not possible to remember everything. But one thing I suggest to Gurvinder, whatever word you put on your slide, you must know what is that. Otherwise, don't put on the slide.
Yes, I think.
Yes,
Agree.
That means you are inviting questions from others.
That's true. That is true, sir. A lot of time the questions we'll get only from the leads that he gives. He is giving the lead to us. Sir, in fact, we have got with us, Professor G.L. Datta, who is a veteran in the kind of from the engineering discipline, and who was the dean in IIT Kharagpur, and after that, he became the vice chancellor and chancellor, and he's a renowned distinguished. Dr. Dattadar, sir, we would like to hear, sir, your views and your comments, anything, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Rao.
Sir, is it possible to see your
Page.
to see you, sir? आपका
let me see. It has somehow suddenly.
Yeah. Okay, no problem, sir. No problem. I think your voice is more important to us, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
suddenly something has gone wrong.
No problem, sir. Sir, I think your golden voice is more important, sir. Yeah.
Okay. I am not really a person deep into this field. It is quite, IoT is quite a new field to me. I'm basically in the, in the field of education, but IoT also we have been talking. I find Gurvinder has done good work, and the two examiners, the questions that they have raised, I find they are really genius. The questions are so much interesting to me. I have learned quite a good deal from them, their questions. One thing I would like to say from my own experience, Gurvinder.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can.
See, you have talked about several factors in IoT. Let me tell you from my experience, post-COVID would be another factor. This post-COVID has made us to go into a new kind of automation, IoT, etc., everywhere. And this is a new phenomenon that has happened. And hence, I find, the queries raised by Professor Panigrahi about the data, etc., that you have collected, pre-COVID and post-COVID, their usefulness during post-COVID and all these, that I have a feeling there is a scope for you to have a relook, to look into it. Well, I think I would not like to go anything beyond deeper, but I once again say that the work I found, I quite enjoyable to me. I mean, interesting, and I have enjoyed the presentation also. You are a good speaker, I find. You are an orator.
Thank you,
You
sir.
deserve to be in our profession, leaving your industry profession.
Thank you, sir.
Come to me.
Would you have any opportunity? Please let me know.
So thank you very much, sir. Dr. Dattadar, thank you very much. Sir, Dr. Sudhir Chattopadhyay, would you like to kind of make any comments or views, sir? He's also a veteran from the industry.
Yeah.
So coming from engineering, MBA, PhD, and from Mecon.
Well, sir, actually, thing is that this is not my cup of tea. Actually, so I cannot give any value addition. Only thing is that I must appreciate the presentation given by Mr. Singh, and at the same time, I enjoyed the comments made by two experts, particularly Professor Praveen Panigrahi, for making things so simplified. It will help us for formulating research work for any other students also.
Okay.
May not from other domains, because you are aware my domain is entirely different. But actually, basic methodology and all those things, whatever he told, and same thing actually in our students also we say that whenever you are doing the literature survey, most of the situation we have seen, they are doing research survey or literature survey from the abroad, and they are doing in Indian context. So this is very burning point, and times and again we have told our research scholars who are working in other fields also. So I thank you, sir, and I thank.
Sure, definitely, sir. We need to contextualize. We need to bring it into the kind of context we have.
Correct. And the research gap, identifying the research gap. What Professor Panigrahi really told, that how you are assuming these things, as if you are preconceived idea and you are approaching towards that one. This is the fundamental thing which has already been told in research methodology, that you should not assume something and jump to that direction. It should come out from your research gap with the literature review and this thing. Thank you very much, sir.
I agree with you, sir. Sir, sometimes maybe certain conclusions we get may be contra-intuitive. Sir, most of us, we believe if it is a big organization, the facilitative conditions are better. In the sense that, they are a lot more kind of a technology savvy. They can spend money. They have got a managerial manpower into that. But, when you have a conclusion that, the smaller organizations, they are a lot more favorable to that, it is counterintuitive.
Yeah.
That's where I think we need to dig deeper and find out why.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a reality? Or is it because of the research design and somewhere, certain things, like in the research design, are there, any things that we got to relook? I think that's all I would like to say in this sense,
Correct.
because if you see the kind of automation, our kind of intuition is, because I come from industry also, I worked in BHL and big organization, because any automation like IoT, like bigger organizations, they prefer to go in because they've got the paying capacity, they've got a managerial manpower and awareness is there. The profile of employees and managers, they have got a lot more, educated and aware. But if you say that they are not very keen on going, and that's somewhere, I think we got to see what exactly the issue into that. Okay, that's all I would like to say. And, sir, Dr. Hariharan, sir, Dr. Datta, now we are able to see you, sir. So Dr. Datta comes primarily from the mechanical engineering, sir. He is considered to be one of the experts in the welding technology in the entire country and abroad also, all over the world, as far as the welding technology is concerned, he is considered to be an expert in that field.
Okay.
Am I right, Dr. Datta? He's so passionate for that area into that. Yeah. Dr. Hariharan, any views, comments, sir?
No, a very good evening to Professor Rao, to esteemed examiners, Professor Panigrahi and Professor Kar, and Professor Datta and Mr. Gurvinder Singh, my faculty colleagues. Really, Mr. Singh, he's a basically hardcore industry man and a good speaker also at the same time, complemented by Dr. Datta. When he started his first presentation, there was a great challenge before us. We are discussing among all faculty members and of course with supervisor also, that is a really challenge for the university to convert a good speaker, a hardcore industry man into researcher. So today we see that, that shows the capability, the test of our capability also. Yes, we could really, we have done it. It's very good. It had got an application of his research which has done it. Basically is a very strong industry face which has got in this topic. So it will go in a very long way. And I was very happy when Dr. Panigrahi took my name, of course, even though we do not know each other, we have never met also. So that shows the example of randomness. How you can randomly pick up a sample. It was a very good example. So we are really very thankful to two examiners for giving more insight into research work and wish him all the best. And hopefully, if examiners permit, we can extend our hand to congratulate him also. Thank you very much and all the best to Mr. Singh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Throughout the journey, you supported a lot. Very much.
So any comments from anybody else? I know that it's getting late and, any of our research scholars, any of our faculty members, any comments, any views, any questions, you also can ask a question. So nothing stops you.
This is Dr. Barik, sir. I have questions already. So it's congratulations, Gurvinderji, for your hard work. At the same time, also congratulations to the supervisor and co-supervisor who has given their best effort to make this event successful.
So have I crossed the finishing line?
I'll come to that. I'll come to that, I think.
At the same time, also, we are very thankful and grateful to the two esteemed examiner, Professor Arpankar sir and Professor Praveen Panigrahi sir. I know Praveen Panigrahi sir from my professor, Professor Mananjan Dhola sir, who is in IIM Kajipur. So he always used to tell me about sir, but I have not seen him, sir. Today I get to know you because one is to get an idea that who are the people in this, Oriya people in this IIM IIT. So I talked to him and he used to tell your name. But one thing I learned, sir, whenever you do a research, then we must have the justification of the assumption. That's one thing I learned. Whatever you do is correct and nothing is wrong. But it must having a justification. It must having a thing so that we can defend that one. We are really get heightened, and we are really learned for your presence and kind support to all of us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
So,
Sir,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dr.
Rajkumar, yes.
Rajkumar, yes, yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you for the wonderful VIVA, sir. External examiner Praveen, sir, for the questions and enlightening us with like what could be done for the further scholars who are doing PhD from our university. We will definitely incorporate all your suggestions, and we'll make this as a pointer for all the other scholars also. And as far as Mr. Gurvinder is concerned, like congratulations to you, sir. You have learned how to do the analysis by yourself by going through various contents, YouTube, and the support of your guide, Dr. Taraknath Paul. You had a discussion with us regarding the tools, and in fact, you have done and learned the tools. I believe like definitely you will be going further with the further tools also, and will be coming out with a lot of papers which will create proud for our university. So once the examiner congratulate, I'll join with them in congratulating and calling you with the tag. So that's it from my end, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rajkumar. You helped a lot. I have no words to say thanks to you. Really, you helped a lot, especially in analysis, which was the most difficult area for me. Thank you.
No, in case there are no more comments,
Yes, sir.
Rumnaji, boliye. I think how can we miss you? Yeah, we can't. Yeah.
First of all, I thank our esteemed external examiner. We could learn many things, especially the humorous way Dr. Praveen asked, which encouraged us. Humorous way that he discussed the things.
Okay.
And also I would like to say how Gurvinder, I was behind him.
I'm sorry for all this chase up which I have done.
No, not at all, because it's our job.
I'm actually from industry. I always have a strict deadlines to complete it. That's why I'm used to being part of operations.
No. In fact, it is our job, and once you submit your thesis, and after that, to identify the appropriate experts in the domain and get it, diligently, thoroughly kind of evaluated, conduct the VIVA OC. That is the responsibility of the university. So that is there, I think, like we have done a lot of diligence, in identifying both the external examiners.
Yeah. But Dr. Rumna help was like anything. She is always 24/7 available. She's been weekend, late night. She's available to help.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, Mr. Gurvinder Singh, congratulations to you from our university, and both the examiners, they have, confirmed their approval.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
VIOC is concerned. And I have been seeing you from the time you joined us, our PhD program, and the amount of efforts that you had to put in to navigate and, identify the topic. In fact, to come into something like a technology, adoption, industry, I think, sort of these kind of words, I think it took us quite some time. Yes. And, I'm so glad that, you are very perseverant, passionate, and you worked very hard to make it happen. And you are earning your PhD. It is not coming to you just like that. You have earned it yourself. And, coming from industry, coming from, company like Capgemini, we would understand, the kind of professionalism with which you come into that. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
A great job done by you. And congratulations to Dr. Taraknath Pal and also Dr. Sushil Kumar Pare.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All the
Thank you so much.
Advice to him, it's not easy at all.
Yeah.
And likewise, I think our PhD coordination team also, they put in a lot of efforts. And even in the last, I think, few days also and few hours also, some more work has happened.
Yes,
Last night at 12:15, I sent some more comments.
Yes, sir.
On your PPT,
Yes, sir.
And I was so glad that whatever comments I made last night, I think, you have taken care.
Yes,
but of course, one of the comments I made was, sometimes, like it's through intuition, we know what are the expected questions in the kind of, the exam.
Yes, sir. Yes.
This question, Professor Panigrahi, I asked him last night. I said that you are putting a model, you must be able to say what are the models you considered, why you are selecting it, what is the justification for that. He tried his best, I think, maybe I think, his best maybe possibly didn't satisfy you, but otherwise, he tried his best. I think from the today morning onwards, he has been trying, on how to do that. That's how, today's presentation, what you made today is, so much different since what I saw last night,
Yes, sir.
So I think that shows some of the hard work and efforts that you're putting into that, under the guidance of all the people. Congratulations, a great
Thank
job.
you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
sir, before we close, I would like to say thank you to you because you have invited a galaxy of professors. And believe me, attending Professor Panigrahi's, this thing is like taking a class.
Sir, I speak a lot. Because if I start, I speak for 1 hour 15 minutes because this is our class timing. So
Sir, what we will do is, Sir Praveenji, we will give an opportunity to you, not for 1 hour 15 minutes. Isse bhi zyada. I think we really like a set of people like you, and we are so fortunate that a lot of our examiners, they are so passionate on the topic. In fact, as a matter of fact, our first examiner, Dr. Arpankar, normally people take so many months to do the evaluation. His evaluation report came to us, within a matter of a week, but it is so thorough. And so much so that he said that, yes, I am just sort of sharing certain things with you. He said that, on all these things, this scholar had to rework on that and submit. He has done that. Am I right, Gurvinderji? You didn't know who it was, but at least we sent, examiner 1, examiner 2.
Yes.
Examiner 1, what all comments has given, on the basis of that, he submitted a revised thesis. The revised thesis I sent to him again, to Dr. Arpankar. Sir, can I have your approval? He went through that. He said, yeah, it's all right. So I think it has gone through that kind of a mechanism into that. It's not that it is rejected. He said, yes, after this review, and it's not a matter of putting a tick or cross. He has to revise and send this thing into that. And, similarly, I think Professor Praveenji also, I think, has done a lot of diligence. And we really appreciate that. So we really love our examiners who are so passionate as we are, and as our scholars. We are so fortunate into that. Thank you very much, sir. We'll have more opportunities for us, to kind of to take the opportunity of leverage your own experience and passion to that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
very
I
much.
thank Dr. Paul and Pare, who are the TAC members. TAC members play a very important role in the success of the student. Because I am also a TAC chair and member of many students. If the students fail, we take responsibility. If the students succeed, they take the students say that.
So one of your student is my colleague, sir, of 13-14 batch, Vijay Joshi. He's our colleague. So sir, I heard of you, sir. I heard of you from him, sir. And today I got the opportunity to meet you. It's a great pleasure to meet you, sir.
It's my good fortunate. Unknowingly, I am talking to one of the best person in industry.
No, it's not like that. No one is best. No one is bad in this world. All are relative. That's all.
I would like to request all of you to switch on the video.
Switch on your video so that we can take a
I used to get call from ma'am or some, I think ma'am, that sir, are you sending report? Generally, we don't get. I have never got any phone call from any university. I have done PUB, IIT, IIM, so many. Every alternate day I am getting thesis, but last time I got a call. I said, what is this call I am getting? So coordination is very good.
Yeah,
and I really appreciate.
Thank you very much. Sometimes we may be bothering you. It's all in the interest of our students.
This is my only job. I am doing nothing other than this.
Yeah, it's all in the interest of our students. We are there to service them. I think that's where we come to that. So thank you very much, sir. And sort of a namaskar and have it to that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Switch on the video, sir.
Ma'am, it's done, ma'am. It's done. Video, sir.